Hey, and welcome to another one of my lectures. I'm riding, getting ready to run some errands, so I'm riding and chatting at the same time. Uh, but before I get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers for supporting my channel. My channel is well over 4 years old. I'm just finishing out running some errands. I figure I might as well use some of this time to do some content. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's very important lecture. And the focus of this lecture is, how to survive on these jobs. How to survive on these jobs. Rather it's a full-time job, a part-time job, it don't matter. If the audience is aware, I retired, fully retired September of 2023 after working 23 plus years as a licensed clinical addiction expert. I retired from state government in the state of North Carolina. And I'm gonna tell you something, I retired in the state of Florida. What I've been noticing is, I do have a handful of friends that I got to meet before I retired, and they've been calling me up with situations on the job. And I'm gonna tell you something, it really is a skill set in surviving on any job, rather it's toxic or not. It really, and I mastered these skills in terms of how to navigate and survive on jobs, my careers throughout my journey. But I mastered those skills probably about the last 10 or 12 or 15 years of my working history. And first of all, I tell folks, your job, your co-workers, your job is not your family. It ain't the same. You go to work, companies, employers hire you to perform the essential functions of your job and go home. And it should be separate. You should have friends outside of that job. You really got to understand that. Even when I was in the military, I understood that. And one key thing in surviving on these jobs is there has to be a separation. You should not be bringing your job problems home, and you should not be taking your home situation or home problems on the job and telling everybody. Keep people out of your business. That's key thing in surviving on these jobs. And another key piece in surviving on these jobs is if you're working on outside goals, rather it's going to school or starting a business or writing a book, or even if you got a side hustle, don't go telling your business on your day job about what you got going on outside of that job. Because I'm going to tell you something, everybody that's smiling in your face on these jobs, they may be smiling in your face, eating lunch with you, but everybody smiling in your face ain't happy for you. Or if they see that you're doing things to enhance yourself, to develop yourself, to improve yourself outside of that job, everybody ain't happy about your stuff. Make no mistake about that. You got to master the skills. And I tell anybody, you have got to master the skills of moving in silence on these jobs and keep your focus on your job functions versus enmeshing your personal life with the job, or enmeshing what you got going on outside of that job and telling everybody on your job, and because everybody ain't happy with your stuff. And another key ingredient in surviving on these jobs is don't entertain drama. When a person or a co-worker, anybody on that job, try to engage you in drama and gossip, you got to immediately disengage, because it serves no purpose. Because if a person is gossiping about somebody else on these jobs, trust me, they are going to gossip about you. Bottom line, stay away from the drama, stay away from the people who gossip, because it serves no purpose. It has no correlation with getting your work done, meeting your deadlines, your due dates, and etc. Move in silence. And I knew this all. I mastered these skills in the last several years of my working history. And I've always been the type of person anyway. I keep folks out of my business. I keep people out of my business. I never talked about my personal life on these jobs, because I'm telling you, most people, believe it or not, could be jealous of you, and they will sabotage, tell lies, and gossip on these jobs to get you written up or to get you fired. I've seen it time and time again. So your job should not be your family. Your family is your family. Your child, your sibling, your brothers, your spouse, your significant other, that's your family. Folks on these jobs are not your family. It's not the same. And I'm telling you, even prior to me retiring, the first thing I did is I went to HR and I told them, don't send no email about me in terms of my upcoming retirement. That's my personal business. Folks will know I'm going when I'm going. People who have worked shoulder to shoulder with me for years had no clue that I was retiring September 2023 until it was my last hour on the job. And I'm here to tell you, because that's my business. That's my personal business. A lot of people come on these jobs and if they have issues going on with their child or the significant other, they're telling anybody I want to hear on that job about problems they may have with the child or the significant other. And I'm telling you, these folks don't care. I'm telling you, when you're putting all your information out there, what you're doing is you're bringing attention to yourself. And what you're doing, now your immediate supervisor is going to look at you differently. And the minute you missing these deadlines or your job performance is decreasing or regressing, then the first thing they're going to do is pull you into that office and say, I'm concerned about your job performance. I'm aware that you got all these issues going on at home, because they hear you talking about it. This thing is real. So when people are telling all of their business and their problems and their situations on the job, all that does is bring your name to the attention of your supervisor, HR, and etc. Now they're looking at your job performance. Now, when you get a job performance, the performance evaluation has gone down. It can have an impact on you not getting that raise, all because you're bringing your personal life on that job. You should keep it separate. And no different when you're at home. Don't bring your job at home. Don't bring your job at home, and all your significant others or your loved ones or your kids, all they hear you doing is talking about the job, complaining about the job, focusing on the job, losing sleep on the job, and you're at home. If a person, you have to go to counseling to air that out, but don't bring the job. Don't bring a home on the job. Don't bring the job on the home. And I'm telling you, that is the secret right there in terms of navigating and surviving these jobs. And I'm here to tell you, you got to have an outlet, have hobbies, etc. Because I'm telling you, when people are putting all that stuff out there like that, all they doing is bringing all this attention to themselves. Supervisors are looking at you. They're noticing now that you might not be meeting these deadlines and due dates, job performance going down, because you're bringing all that attention to yourself. Because prior to me retiring, I was a clinical supervisor, supervised other clinicians. And I can remember there was one particular person who I had to clinical supervise for 3 or 4 years. And I would notice every time, because I can go into the electronic database and see, are you meeting those deadlines and due dates for your clinical work and your assessments and your treatment plans. And I can see this, because if you meet the due dates, the light will be green. If you're beyond those due dates, the lights are red. And all your lights should not be red for your responsibilities in terms of your task. So when I would meet with this person, I would basically say, your due dates, you're behind on your clinical work. And every time I would have to address this performance with this particular person I supervise, then the response will be all of these truckload of problems going on at home with family members, significant others, kids, and on. And I will listen as a supervisor. I will do that reflective listening. Absolutely. And of course, I'm going to document that. And once I do that reflective listening, I'm going to always redirect that conversation in regards to those due dates. And I'm going to give you now a timeline, a deadline by the close of the day to perform the essential functions of your job with these due dates. And I'm going to also remind that person that you are aware that we have internal EAP that can assist you with emotional problems, family problems. Let me give you this information, but at the same time, the deadline, because you don't miss the real deadline, to have this done is by the close of the day. And I will always have to do this over many times with this particular supervisee, because bottom line, again, like I said, I did reflective listening, but the purpose of me coming to your office is we got to discuss these due dates, because I got to run my report. I got to submit my report to my supervisor in regards to quality assurance in terms of the clinical services that are performed by many people that I supervise. And that's where the accountability and the responsibility comes into play, and I'm here to tell you. So I say that to say, when you're putting all your stuff out there, all it's doing is bringing attention to the supervisors, and you're going to have an impact on your job performance. So share this information. Somebody may want to hear this in terms of how to survive on these jobs, some tips and strategies. I'm telling you, these tips and strategies do work. It has worked for me throughout my entire working history, all the way up until I retired September of 2023. So that's all I have. Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own